Hello, everyone. We had a slight issue with the podcast where just the 10 minutes are going to sound like crap, but we promise after the first 10 minutes, we figured out the issue and it's going to sound fine. So if you want to skip 10 minutes, that's totally fine. But maybe if you're a hardcore fan, listen to the first 10 minutes as well. And then after that, it's going to sound fine. Love you guys. Cheers.
That is technically my name, Anthony Bear.
Sick.
That's sick. I'm just going to call you Bear next time.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine with me.
I was like, why does everybody get cool nicknames? I just have nothing.
Joe.
That's terrible.
JJ.
But anyways, sure. Yeah, people call me that. That's not
People call you JJ?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Jordan Johnson, JJ?
Yeah, do you know JoJo, the recording artist?
No, I know.
JoJo? Yeah, those people used to call me that too.
He's so.
This is episode number 12 with Anthony Urso, and on this week's episode, we talk a little bit more about being a creator on Instagram with our friend and fellow photographer, Anthony Urso. Welcome to another episode of the Prolix Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. On the Prolix Podcast, we talk about photography, videography, projects we've been working on, tech news, and then break down our favorite video of this week. And this week's episode is also special, just like the last three. We've been having guests on our show, and I think we will from now on. Right, Jordan?
Hopefully.
Yeah, okay. We need like your stamp of approval and everything we do. So
yeah,
hopefully, if you say so.
Hopefully we can get a guest every time. If not, then
well, that sucks.
Yeah.
But anyways, but before we jump into that with our guest, Anthony Urso, please do check us out on Instagram, @PolixMedia, where we post quite often, so you can keep up with what we're up to. We post, what do we post? Do you want to list it off real quick?
we post like behind the scenes stuff, some projects that we're working on. We post a lot on our stories of things we're doing like right then and there. So
it's like a wide variety of things.
Yeah, it's a pretty wide variety. Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that we're just doing for fun, like driving Lambos.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, that's all fun and games. Yeah, and also on our YouTube, you can see the full video of driving a Lambo. Well, actually not that, but other videos, like our commercials and our podcasts and unboxing videos and a bunch of other blabber jabbers. So check us out, Prolix Media on YouTube. Now, let's jump into the actual kind of meat of the sandwich of the podcast. I think the main part of the podcast with our guest. The juicy bit, there you go. And that was the first thing that Anthony says on our podcast, the juicy bit.
The juicy bit, guys.
Yeah, there you go. So now, Anthony, usually I come up with a question of the week and I throw it at Jordan's face, just slap him with it. And he doesn't even know it's coming. And like hand on heart, I don't tell him what the questions are.
Yeah.
So he's going to be as surprised as you are. But
all right, that's good.
But don't worry, it's nothing, like it's not going to put you on the spot, or it may, I don't know.
Tell us a little bit more about
Okay, so before you tell us a little bit more about what you have to say and who you are and whatever, what's the main thing you shoot right now?
Oh, the main thing I shoot right now. Well, it's going to be a little bit broad, but sunsets. I've been trying. I used to shoot 12 o'clock, middle of the day all the time, because that's when I was free. But then I started shooting more and more sunsets, and I realized, my feed looks really nice when it's all colorful and beautiful. So I've pretty much been going out to shoot sunset in various different locations, but pretty much sunset every day. Pretty much every day this summer. I've been shooting sunset, honestly.
Literally every day of the summer?
Yeah.
Okay, but in short, if you were to summarize, it would be sunsets.
Yes.
Okay,
sunsets.
So now, if you couldn't ever shoot sunsets again, what would you shoot?
Sunrise.
Wow, damn it. Yeah.
Easy,
yeah. This guy. You were probably that guy in class. The teacher hated it.
I was that guy. I'm going to deny it 100%.
Just always witty as hell and making fun of the teacher too, or what?
Yeah. You know what? In high school, I had cool teachers, so they kind of threw shots back. So it was fun.
That's good.
Oh, okay, perfect. So basically, that's why you have such thick skin right now. You just got roasted by teachers all your life.
Honestly?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now Jordan, what about you? What do you shoot? What's your main thing you shoot right now?
I don't know.
Well, I guess on the personal side is a little different than what you shoot for
I
Prolix.
haven't really gone to shoot anything personally in a long time. Like the last photos that I shot for myself were in New York.
I saw you pick up the camera a little bit in the last event.
That doesn't help the shot a little bit. But that wasn't really something that I shoot that often.
Oh yeah, by the way, guys, all you that are listening in Winnipeg right now, if you haven't gone to a Prolix event, you definitely should, because they are all so fun. Every month almost, they do events. Sometimes they're free, sometimes you have to pay. But you guys should definitely check them out. The last one was a blast.
So how much do I owe you for that plug? I'm just
Yeah.
wondering. Can I afford it? Like,
Send me transfer.
e-transfer? Sounds good, man. Well, thanks so much for the plug. I appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully you had fun. But we'll get into
It
that.
was so fun.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. But so now the questions don't stop there. And just like, this is going to be like 21 questions, like 50 Cent song type of deal.
Okay.
But I only have like 5, but basically 21 questions. Well, I have more than 5, but yeah, anyways. Tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where did photography start for you?
Okay.
Where it came to, and where you wanted to go with it?
Okay, yeah. Good question. Photography started with nothing to do with photography for me.
Okay.
Okay, so pretty much I was never really a photo bug. I never cared about taking pictures. It didn't matter to me. Pretty much, I'm 19 now. I've been out of high school for
Like
2
pretty
years.
much, or like actually?
I am 19.
Okay.
100% 19. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
back in junior high, so a while ago, I was. Me and my friends were shit disturbers, let's say.
Okay.
So we would go adventure to different places, go to places we're not necessarily supposed to, get into trouble, do stuff like that. And this was back in junior high, and we were broke kids, we had nothing else to do, so we kept
Basically
ourselves
stole
busy.
cars and exported them to
Oh yeah,
Poland. Yeah, okay. fair enough.
Lambos, I don't have to pay for my Lambos.
Yeah.
Everybody do that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
so
Clearly we're the idiots.
we entertained ourselves, right? And so we explored. At heart, I'm a photographer. I consider myself a photographer, but more than a photographer, I consider myself an adventure seeker.
Ooh.
That's what I do. At heart, at least, that's what I consider myself, an adventure seeker. So I started noticing when I was hanging out with my friends, we would have fun and go to unique places that necessarily not everyone goes to. And I realized, well, there's some pretty decent views that we're seeing in some, or at least unique views that you would see in some of these places that we'd go to. And I started taking pictures on my iPhone just so I could show my other friends. And I installed Instagram, started adding, like, just, it was just
Hold
people
on.
from my
You
school.
said you were a shit disturber. Did you torrent Instagram, or did you actually?
No,
As he swallow literally heavy breathing. Okay, it's all good.
No,
No,
but I may have other software.
Yeah. Either way.
Adobe.
No, I'm just kidding. It's all good.
But no, I just started going to cool places and snapping pictures on my iPhone 4S. I started taking pictures on.
Damn.
So great picture
Were you
quality.
even born back then? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm kidding. For once, I'm older than anybody
Okay.
ever. So that's why I'm like roasting you right now. But your age. Huh? Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm just
You
kidding.
said, junior high was a long time ago. I almost graduated a decade ago.
Okay.
Listen, pops. Bingo is down the street, okay? But so you were saying, so you downloaded Lightroom, and then
Oh,
with the 4S?
no, Lightroom. No. Lightroom's not for a long ways away.
It just is.
It's a story. It's a story.
Okay.
Okay, so in junior high, exploring, going places, seeing cool stuff. So I hadn't got my first phone, an iPhone, I think in grade 9, it was
Yeah.
for me. And I started snapping shots, uploading them to Instagram, and realized, hey, I like seeing pictures that show all the places I've been, paints kind of a story of my life, and people started liking it. I kind of learned about hashtags, and my account just kind of grew from there. But the thing that a lot of people don't know, and that I got a lot of DMs, early stages of my Instagram account, like most of last summer and all before that, I didn't have a camera. I was always shooting on my iPhone. I had an iPhone 6S at the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Just editing on my phone, uploading to Instagram, and I always had people messaging me, hey, what camera do you use? What camera do you use? Now just iPhone 6S.
That's
And-
crazy, man.
Yeah,
The
that's
fact
awesome.
that like people thought the photos were so good on an iPhone that they were asking what kind of camera you use. That's impressive, man.
And I never actually wanted to get a camera because the type of photography I do, I don't know. First of all, I don't hang out with many other photographers outside of planned events.
Right.
So I don't know generally how other photographers do it, if they drive around to like plan locations or not. But for me, when it's nice out at least, I'm biking around and just exploring and seeing what I can find. So I was like, I always wanted to stay light. I had a phone, whip it out, take a shot, and that was that.
Right.
And then I finally saved up and got a camera, and then I realized, wow, what was I doing? Shooting on the phone for 2 years. So that was fun. And then, so pretty much, I only had a camera last summer. I got one, and then I got Lightroom and everything, and then my pictures, in my opinion, started getting better.
Of course.
From there. But even now, I still travel light. I never have more than 2 lenses on me when I'm out shooting.
Nice.
Unless I have a planned location that I'm like driving to or something.
Right.
I see.
So,
That's cool, man. That's awesome. So then now, so right now it's at sunsets and rooftops, as we can see by your Instagram. And then where do you plan to take it? Like, what style do you think? Where do you see it, say, like 5 years or 10 years from now?
hopefully a lot of travel. That's something I love traveling. Like I was in Vancouver for 2 days, for Father's Day actually, because my dad was out there for work, and I went out and met him for Father's Day, and that was super fun. I've never been to Vancouver,
Cool.
and I did a lot in that 2 days, and it was super fun. So that kind of got the itch going, and I really want to start traveling. And okay, so in short, travel photography would be great.
Yeah.
That's something I go.
Okay, so where? One location. If you could go to
New York,
next.
no question, New York.
New York.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I kind of want to go to New York with this kid.
Yeah, no kidding.
Honestly. I think
Okay, listen, Pops. Don't call him kid. You're like, yeah, like
he's a kid.
7 years. Okay, fine. You have like 7 years on it. Come on, the peach front's growing in nice though. I'm just kidding. It's all good.
I call myself a kid still. So.
Yeah, that's fair. I know. So, Jordan, would you say, since you've been to New York and did photography there, what would you say? What would you recommend this guy? Where to go?
I feel like he'd find more shit.
He's more of an explorer than you are?
I think so. And I was just on the street. Like I did a lot of street photography. I didn't really elevate myself. But no, it's awesome. Yeah.
Was this like a double meaning or?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Just making sure for the audience that they caught that.
I mean, there's lots of places I would love to travel all
Sorry,
over
one
the
second,
world.
one second. Clearly, the camera just doesn't want to record my face. So you're saying, so there's a lot of places you want to
Oh, there's
try.
lots of places I would love to go. I've been to Italy once it was a school trip. I would love to go back. That was 3 years ago, really before I was much into photography. So I would love to go back. Venice is beautiful, but more than that, I'd love to go to like Paris.
So you said you'd been to Italy once.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful. So yeah, getting back to travel, all over the world. Oh, what was that city? I don't know who was messaging me. I think it was on the Prolix account. Oh, were we flying to?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Where? Yeah.
It was
Belgium.
Belgium. Was it Belgium?
No, it was in Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to go to like Thailand, Bangkok. You know, I would love to go to like Seoul, South Korea. Like, my dad was there actually for work. He's a freelance videographer. So
Your dad.
Yes, but not like the kind of video you think. What he does is he films what you see live for sporting events like soccer games, curling events, football, hockey, all that kind of stuff. So
Right.
he gets hired by like TSN, CBC, CTV.
Oh, wow.
He does other stuff like he does cooking shows and
Oh wow.
a lot of random stuff. But his main bread and butter is sports. So that's what he does. So
That's
he
really
travels
cool.
all over the world.
So he has
for that.
one of
So I'm
those like
super
massive
jealous.
cameras.
Oh yeah, like the big live TV cameras.
Wow.
Those are like 40K
Oh,
start.
yeah.
If not more, yeah.
Well, yeah, I was actually a little story he was telling me. I believe it was in Seoul, but a random dude snuck into the production area and picked up one of the HD cameras, camera lenses, sorry, and my dad actually ended up chasing him down because he saw him and caught the guy and got the lens back, but the lens alone was worth $70,000.
Wow.
$70,000 is a little
It's
insane.
incredible.
For a lens.
Oh yeah,
That's
never
crazy.
mind the body, just the lens.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's when you hear stuff like that, it starts to make more sense when you see movie budgets when they say that like camera budget is like $2 to $5 million.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, and then you're
Camera.
like, this is how.
Camera and lens aside, like sometimes my dad will come home with like a tripod or something, like he forgot it in his car. The tripod alone is worth more than my entire like DSLR setup.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
That's insane,
Some of these setups that they have.
Well, yeah, the heavier tripods, like the Manfrotto ones. Even Manfrotto makes some that are like 3-4K
Oh yeah.
for like the big cameras.
I'm just shoot. If anyone's curious, I just shoot on a little Canon T6i entry level DSLR and a couple different lenses sprinkled in. So pretty budget setup. But I mean,
Hey, but it's it's about what you do with it. It's not,
Yeah, totally.
you know, it's not like what you shoot with.
I'm not selling massive prints yet, so I don't actually. I don't need
those megapixels yet.
To be fair, though, most of my pictures are actually usually 50 megapixels and up.
because how I
Doing-
shoot. I
yeah,
don't
okay.
shoot single pictures.
Yeah.
90% of my shots are panoramic shots.
That
So
makes sense.
I've had most of my shots are like 200 megapixels. I've had some like files that are like 5 gigs.
Wow.
So I could like, if I wanted to, and if I had people that are willing to pay, I could make big prints. But
For sure, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
That's
don't.
awesome.
But you don't.
I don't.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Exactly.
You know, not yet.
So you were mentioning that you started with like you were like a big adventurer.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us like the best adventure story you've had.
The best adventure story I ever had. Ooh, that's tough.
To do with photography.
To do with.
What about like getting into our office? Was that an adventure?
Oh, it was. I opened the door and I walked in. But the best adventure story was probably pretty recently in Vancouver. So my dad was working. I was there over the weekend. He was working all day Saturday. So I had free reign to go do whatever I want. And I somehow ended up in the what is their team called? The Lions, I believe. The Vancouver Lions. So I ended up in the stadium.
Just randomly ended up in the stadium.
I ended up in the stadium. There's a picture
Just
of it
close
on
your eyes and then boom, you're in the stadium.
There's a picture of it on my Instagram.
Yeah,
The back door was open. One thing led to another, and I kind of just meandered into the stadium. And I got it. And you know, there was security, but you know what? If anyone, biggest tip in life: confidence is key. Confidence is key, guys.
So what you were like, yo, I'm one of the players.
Bro, I had a camera. I was taking pictures of stuff, and I walked in, got a picture, and I just kind of left, and that was that.
Huh.
Amazing. Amazing.
I'm going to Vancouver at the end of the month, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
try
fun.
to.
Have you been
Fuck
before?
right now. Oh yeah, I love Vancouver.
Oh, it's so nice. I would live there if I had, a couple $1 million to spend on
Same.
a condo.
Same.
You know?
I think I would like screw off to Thailand if I had anywhere more than 10 million right now in cash. I just like
10 million.
You know what?
Anything more than 10 million? 9,000,005. We're staying.
no, we're staying in Winnipeg. Yeah.
A lot of people talk trash about living in Winnipeg, but
Yeah.
you know what? The more I've been traveling, the more I realize I actually like living in Winnipeg. I like to travel, but I think at the end of the day, I like coming home to Winnipeg.
No
it's
traffic.
There's exactly. I can go drive somewhere. From where I live in Elmwood, if you know where that is. It's just by Disraeli Bridge.
Yeah.
So I could drive to downtown and be wherever I want in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like in almost any time of the day. Versus in Vancouver, you're probably living like somewhere far out of the city and you got to spend 3 hours driving into the city every day for work.
Yeah.
The traffic.
The one thing I wish Winnipeg had is like less of a winter, like less of like more mild of a winter and less and shorter winter.
Are you telling me you don't like minus 50?
See, the
Listen,
thing is,
man, I love it. I just don't want to
could
brag
put up
about
with
it.
the minus 50.
What?
I could put up with the minus 50 if our winter wasn't 6 months long.
No, literally, yeah. And I
It's
think
insane.
it's pretty depressing. Not depressing, but it kind of like
Oh,
sets
yeah.
you back. You
Yeah,
know?
you get kind of low in the winter. It's
Yeah.
not.
Seasonal depression.
Yeah. Wow.
It's real. It's a real
It's
thing.
a real thing.
I think it is. Yeah.
100%.
I think, and also like you always walk like this, like you're slouching and crouching into your jacket to fit as many millimeters of your face as you can from the.
You know what? This winter, though, I was pretty proud of myself. This was my first winter with actual camera and being serious about photography.
Yeah.
And I actually got out quite a bit. I shot a lot this winter. I was out still pretty consistently.
That's good.
That's
pretty
awesome.
happy
man.
with that.
Yeah, can't say the same. Nope, definitely my.
Yeah.
Yes, stayed in the office and in my car, heated seats. Thank you very much.
That's a must in Winnipeg. You have to have heated seats in the
Oh,
car.
for sure, man. You're definitely doing something wrong if you don't got heated seats.
I
But
don't have heated seats.
yeah, well, you're doing something wrong. I'm just kidding. Soon, right? Soon.
Yeah. Sure.
Soon. Yeah, soon.
Yeah.
You'll get heated seats on your coffee racer bike. You
Yeah.
want to get
Oh,
coffee? Did I call it coffee?
Maybe one
Cafe-
more year. I think maybe
Coffee
one
racer?
more year.
Cafe racer. It's
I
like
wanna get a motorcycle.
yeah, that'd be sick.
I would love to have a motorcycle.
Dude.
Except the only thing in Winnipeg, you can only
Exactly.
drive it for like
Exactly.
so long.
And that's why I still need to wait. I need to have like somewhere to put it.
Yep.
Unless I drag it down the stairs of my apartment.
Every day. That'd be hilarious.
Just for the winter.
So you do lots of like cityscape photography and so on. And since Winnipeg is not super big and we're not huge on new architecture, new building in downtown, do you find it challenging to find new angles and new ways to capture the city?
Honestly, yes. It's pretty monotonous, I guess could be a word to describe it, at least for me. Yeah, I went through a big stretch this winter and the beginning of summer just not being motivated to shoot at all because it is a small city, there's never anything new, and it just kind of got boring shooting the same stuff. I noticed I was getting pretty much the same shot over and over again. Nothing super interesting. Like I would get different things once in a while, but nothing that would get me really excited. So that's why when I went to Vancouver not too long ago, it was super refreshing to just see something different because they've been building like 300 Main for like I don't know how long now, and it's barely any progress. There's nothing new besides that really. Sky City or whatever, that apartment got canceled. So it is it's super tedious after a while shooting the same stuff. So it's really hard to kind of push forward and try to find something different, at least in my opinion. In my experience.
I see. Yeah, well, I definitely have to agree. Even us with like car photography, we kind of struggle sometimes finding new locations to shoot the cars. Even though we try to be unique every time, it's still kind of like you exhaust it.
To like revisit certain places.
Hey, I saw you guys went to IKEA for, I believe it was a Genesis shoot.
Yeah.
That was creative. I would never think of going to IKEA for a shoot. That was cool.
Yeah, blue on blue. I mean, it's like a nice pop of color, right? But yeah, so and other than landscape, you also enjoy rooftop photography. Mm-hmm. So with that, do you have any like sketchy rooftop stories or close calls or anything? Like I saw you flying down a building one time, but that was I don't think that was that bad. You were like just anyways.
It's a Spider-Man joke.
It's
Spider-Man joke.
Yeah, I kind of missed the mark.
Honestly, you're probably expecting me to say yes, but no. I'm honestly, I don't know if you follow many other like, I get the word is urbex.
What?
Urban exploration. That's like the hashtags that everyone use on Instagram.
Urbex.
Urbex. Okay. Anyways.
Clearly, we're losers, children, because I didn't know.
Old.
We're old. Yeah.
A lot of these guys. You see a lot of guys like.
You still listen to radio, bro? Listen to AM radio?
Video killed the radio stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, you see a lot of guys like in the UK and Russia, and they do like crazy stuff, hanging off buildings and everything, and like off the side of cranes. I don't. That's not me. I'm honestly meticulous and safe and planned. And I have honestly never had an issue.
Awesome.
I can honestly say that I've never had an issue.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
So we have watched your profile for over about a year now.
Oh.
Yeah.
We've been special now. I didn't know that.
We've been creeping.
Actually, I remember you guys invited me to your first coffee shop meet a long time ago, and then and then I didn't show up because I forgot.
And we've been creeping you. We've been liking your photos, and you didn't show up to our first hangout. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. As long as you show up to the next ones, or else we're gonna nothing. We appreciate you showing up. But so as I said, we've been watching your profile for about a year now, and it's impressive how far you come, especially like coming from iPhone now into camera, and there was definitely like that spike.
Like, there's a very obvious difference. I think like now that I know that, like I didn't know that before, but seeing like how much you improved over the last like year is crazy. Like, it's actually
So with that, we have a question. Do you have any sort of advice for people in photography that are starting out, especially starting out at a younger age, like you, and like what would you say like your top 3 pieces of advice would be?
Absolutely, it's good to. I'm sure if you're just starting out, you're looking at these amazing creators and saying, "Oh man, I just want to be shooting like these guys," and it's good to aspire to be something. But you're not going to be like them. You're not going to be close to them for a very long time. You have to accept that and go shoot lots, often, consistently, and just do it. The pictures might look bad. You might not like them. Other people might not like them, but you just got to keep doing it over and over again. It's consistency. Like for me to get to where I am now, and I don't consider myself a pro in any stretch of the imagination, but to get to where I am, I have been shooting literally almost every single day for the past like 2 years. I go shooting all the time. It's just a consistency. The more times you click that shutter, the more things you're going to learn. And editing, watch lots of tutorials. That's what I did. I'm actually just at the point now where I'm happy with my edits. I never liked my edits before. I'm at the point where I'm pretty happy with how my pictures come out now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Actually, Jordan, you were saying that too, like last time, that you finally figured out a way, your own style.
It's probably one of the biggest things, and I mentioned it last time, was when I was starting out, I was exactly like you said, you try styles of other people.
Yep.
You're like editing in certain ways and whatever, and it was never, I don't know, it didn't feel super fulfilling when I looked at those images. I was like, okay, they look like that guy's stuff, but they're not me,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, now it took me a while to finally fall into a style that I was like, okay, I'm starting to like get how I like to do the colors and how I like to do my edits and
Exactly.
things like that. Yeah, no.
But one more thing, don't lock yourself down either. It's good to try different things. Try different editing styles. Try
Yep.
shooting different things. That's also very important. And one thing I need to work more heavily on, because I do kind of shoot the same stuff over and over again. But try different things, and through trying different things, you will find your niche or your style
Yeah.
or whatever that you like to shoot. That definitely. So just consistency and try different things for if you're a new photographer.
Yeah, I really like what you said too about just like shooting, like just keep shooting.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one of the biggest things that even my brother said to me when I was starting too, is like, you're gonna take 1,000 pictures and you're gonna like one. And like as you continue to take thousands of photos, you're gonna start liking maybe 10 or 100. And then by the time like you're getting somewhere, you're gonna take even less photos now, but all of them will be ones that you like. But you have to be shooting all the time. Like, because it's like learning the composition and learning what you don't like
Exactly.
and learning all like the mistakes. Yeah, it only happens from shooting. So like getting frustrated with taking 10 and then being like, oh, okay, they're not good. Like that's not going to get you anywhere. Yeah.
Well, speaking of thousands of photos, due to my shooting style, and I'm sure other people do, but I don't personally know anybody that really shoots the way that I do. Every time I go shoot, I come home with like at least 600 pictures that I have to go through because I shoot panoramics. I have to go through and then stitch them all together in Photoshop, and that takes time. You know, it has to process it, and you know, it'll come out all warped most of the time because I don't do it on a tripod. I'm just handheld shooting everything. So my editing process takes forever because I have to go. If I shoot, let's say, 100 shots.
Yeah.
But each shot, like finished shot, is consisted of maybe 10 to 20 pictures.
Yeah.
So I have to put those 10 to 20 pictures together 100 times to find the one that I like.
Jesus.
So my pictures
Sounds
get
tedious.
backed up. I'll be honest, I haven't gone through the pictures yet from the last event at the Millennium Center. I know I got some pictures I'm very happy with, but I haven't had a chance to go through them yet.
Yeah, damn.
So
That's crazy.
Since you like doing panoramic and stitching, have you ever tried doing like, have you heard of the Brenizer portrait style?
where you will like zoom in, get your focus, and then get like a wider background, but with the same
like
depth of field.
Yeah.
When I first got into portraits, before I bought like a 50mm when I was just shooting on to 100, my 135, my kit lens. That's like what I did for everything actually.
Oh, yeah.
I shot a lot of portraits doing that.
Nice, yeah, that's cool. I've only tried it a few times, and it does give like a really cool effect.
It's tough because your model can't really move because then it could come out pretty wonky looking.
Yeah, you can
I like
have
stretched
body parts,
faces
yeah.
and everything, but I love the effect of that.
No, it's a really cool effect. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. That's a
I should
something
try
to
that
try.
again. I'm gonna try those. Yeah,
What that style of
yeah.
footage?
Yeah, we'll use it for some of the client stuff. I'll try it again. It's a cool effect.
It is, yeah.
You'll see.
I'll see. Yeah, just show me what it is. Now, if we're talking about tips, what about tips about growing Instagram?
Oh, I don't even know. Instagram.
Especially now, right?
Now it's pretty
I don't
crazy.
even know. I
Last
honestly don't even know if it's possible anymore. I'll give you my opinion on Instagram first. I used to be super into it. I used to be like, oh, I need to get this many likes. And I would compare myself to everybody else and feel bad because I only got 50 likes. And then this person's getting 300 likes and so on and so forth. But I've really got out of that mentality. And I think it's a really unhealthy mentality. Unless you're like a business. But for me, just as a personal photographer who's really making very little money off the stuff I shoot, it's mostly just for fun. So I'm trying to treat it just as that. If I get 100 likes, cool. If I get 300 likes, cool. I don't really look at the numbers anymore. Before a year ago, before Instagram started changing their algorithms to be crazy and everything.
More restrictive?
Yes, more restrictive. You could fine tune your hashtags, and you could actually put in the work to give yourself exposure. But
Right.
now it feels like they're changing the rules all the time. And like there was a week where I was getting a fraction, like a third of the engagement that I would normally get on my posts. And that's what really was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I just realized I don't care about it. I purely use Instagram now. Just whoever follows me, I post my stuff. If they like it, they like it. doesn't really matter to me because at the end of the day, I'm not making money from Instagram, so I'm not going to stress over it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So,
Makes sense. Now, this is a little bit of a curveball, but
okay.
we know this might be a sensitive topic. But we've seen you involved in a little bit of like internet beef on Instagram.
Spicy.
And no need to name any names, of course. But my question to you is based on that, is that in this day of social media, this day and age of social media and like content creation and Instagram, what are some kind of like dark sides or negatives of being a content creator for Instagram?
I don't know how it is,
Instagram.
and I think it goes city to city because in Winnipeg we have a pretty small community, at least for Instagrammers. Sometimes the community in Winnipeg can actually be kind of toxic. I'm not gonna lie, the Instagram community. You know, some people have pointless beef over nothing. It's such a small city, and it's not many people. I really don't see the point in having beef over pointless stuff. But you know what happens, and I think it's kind of pointless.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And what about what about, you mentioned community, and that's kind of like part of it, right? It comes with negatives. But what about the positives of the community?
Many more positives than negatives for sure.
What would you say?
It gives you a sense of community because you know what? I started taking shots on my iPhone and just hanging out with my buddies in school, and that was it. But then I started going on Instagram, and I started seeing other profiles and getting invited to events and meeting new people. People that I would have 100% never met if I didn't do Instagram.
Yeah.
Like I've met some really good friends like that I would have never met before, other photographers, and I've gone to lots of free events that I've been invited to. Instagram actually can provide a lot of interesting, meaningful opportunities, especially, you know, if you want to make some friends. You know, go on Instagram, find people that do the same thing that you do, hang out with them, 100%.
Yeah.
Lots of positives there.
Totally. And then since we're on the topic of community, you came out to a couple of our photo hangout events. How did you like those for networking with the community?
Oh, it was great. You know, there was a lot of people that I have seen before, but then flip side of that, there was a lot of people that I've never met before, and it was great to kind of connect with different people that I've never met. Like I've seen them, and some people I've never even heard of. You know, it was pretty great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool to see like how wide of a range of people we get. We get a lot like regulars and people who are like professionals to people who are just starting, and it's really cool to see how they mix. Sorry, I went too far away.
No, you're just talking quietly.
Okay, my bad.
His levels are like perfect, and your
bad.
levels are like, sorry, what is he saying?
Yeah, sorry.
And another thing, me as a non-professional, just doing it for fun photographer, I've also learned a good couple things, you know, at the wedding photography events, watching people take portraits of all the models, the car garage shoot, I believe it was the second one. Watching people then, and I would like to think that I've had a little progression even throughout the events, because the first one I went to was the car garage shoot, and that was a blast. But one thing I noticed, I never really moved the models around. I kind of just shot whatever anyone else was shooting. I had a blast. It was so fun, but I didn't really engage as much as I should. And then, I went to the wedding one, but I couldn't really stay too long, so I'm not going to count that one. But now the most recent one, the Millennium Center shoot, that was, first of all, super, super fun. A cool building that I've been in the main, like, grand hall, but I've never been in the basement. I didn't know there was a vault in the upstairs. That was cool in different areas. So that in itself was awesome. But I found myself more engaged with getting pictures that I wanted and not just shooting pictures that other photographers were planning.
Yeah,
so I was
down in that too.
Down in the vault. I was moving around the models, kind of having visions of my own. And I was kind of happy with how I did at that.
So, but based on that, like, what made you get that switch from not moving the models to moving the models? Did you just feel more comfortable around the people around you, or more comfortable at the hangout, or what was it?
I just got kind of tired of not progressing, because I'm not a portrait photographer, and it's definitely an aspect of photography that I want to get better at and learn. So, and I'm not going to learn just by smooching off everyone else's ideas. So I just kind of forced myself, you know what, Anthony? Okay, we need to get some shots of our own, something different. Try to, no matter what, come up with some ideas. You know, even if it doesn't turn out, come up with something, move the models around, get creative. And that just kind of pushed myself, just to get the juices flowing in the brain. and try to learn something, try to get a style. Something.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's the main objective of the events, which is great, to network and to learn something new and to be able to shoot something you may not usually get to shoot. So
Yeah, exactly. I saw a bunch of photographers. They're all lined up shooting with like 50 mils and like 135s and everything. So I said, you know what, screw it. I just went in the back, went into my camera bag, grabbed out a 6.5 millimeter fisheye, told them to run out of the vault, and I got like a cool running shot. Why that you saw the whole background and everything. There was smoke.
Oh yeah.
So I tried to be creative, and I tried to get shots I didn't think everybody else was getting. So I think I kind of accomplished that.
Yeah, and that's really cool the way that you approach that, because it's nice to have that level of like self-awareness that you know what's going on around you, and then being able to step back and be like, okay, if
I'm gonna do it my
everybody's doing this, how do I look at it in a different way? So that's really good. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, and then like kind of last question in this set of 21 questions is what is something a lot of people that may not know about you?
Ooh, well, my last name, Urso. You know what it means?
I don't.
It is an Italian word for bear. Fun
I
fact.
was gonna say bear
Because, you know,
You were gonna say
I
what?
was gonna say bear
How do you know that?
because Ursa Major.
yeah, constellations.
Yeah.
I don't even know. What the hell you guys are
Okay,
talking
that's
about?
something people may not know about.
Oh, that's cool.
My last name is-
Anthony the Bear.
That is technically my name, Anthony Bear.
Sick.
That's sick. I'm just gonna call you Bear next time.
Okay, that's fine
Yeah.
with me.
I was
And
like, why does everybody get cool nicknames? I just have nothing.
Joe,
That's terrible.
JJ.
But anyways, sure. Yeah, people call me that. That's not.
People call you JJ?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Jordan Johnson, JJ.
Yeah, do you know JoJo, the recording artist? The
No, I
singer
know.
JoJo? Yeah, those people used to call me that too. Cause
He's so.
I know Joe Coy. He's Filipino and just like you. And
sure,
he's
yeah,
Joe.
call me that.
Yeah, Joe
on the
Coy.
topic of nicknames, actually, okay, not for the reason that you're gonna instantly think, but in high school, everyone would always used to call me Spider-Man. Not for the reason you think,
What?
because
Because
apparently
you
I
jump buildings?
apparently, like, I look like Spider-Man, and apparently I talk like him too. So I don't know.
Nice.
That's what everyone said.
That's high
That's
praise.
sick.
That's
That
one
is-
of the best things you could be called.
Spider-Man. But the thing is, like, you set like a high standard for yourself. Do you just like in lunchroom? Do you just like try to throw ropes at everyone? Just like, yo, you come here. Like, but, okay, Jordan. Now it's time to dive into tech news.
yeah.
We're at about 40 minutes of the recording right now. So I think what we'll do is we'll probably cut the video review,
Sure.
and then like let's talk about tech news and get Anthony's opinion on this week's tech news.
Sure.
Hopefully, I know what we're talking about.
I mean, you probably have heard of it. So the first thing is like, this is seriously like beating a dead horse. We've talked about it on like 3 different podcasts now. But apparently, Samsung has fixed the Galaxy Fold. Do you know that phone that was really popular? Apparently, they fixed it. So they did 3 major changes. They reduced the gap size in the frame. So when it's folding, apparently it just reduces the fact that particles can like get in there and like actually damage the inside of the phone. 2, they extended that protective film. You know, everyone was peeling off the screen essentially.
Okay.
So they put that all the way to the edges of the screen. So
Right.
hopefully people don't pick at it. So that's another little thing. And then
Still
the
gonna
last
happen.
one is that they changed the hinge design a little bit. Apparently what happens now is the screen actually stretches in the middle
Oh.
instead of it having a bit of a
You're telling me a digital screen stretches?
yeah.
Jesus.
Apparently it makes the bend in the middle like almost invisible, which is pretty cool. But again, this is all, we just read this off Tom's guide online. So take it with a grain of salt. We won't know until again people get their hands on these things again.
And start breaking it on purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Anthony, have you seen the Galaxy Fold?
Not in person, but I've watched reviews and I've looked at it.
So what is your take on the Galaxy Fold? Would you unfold it and bake cookies on it because it's so big?
I think I would. You know, it looks like a baking pan.
Yeah, that's what I was
but
saying. Yeah.
I think it's an interesting design. Oh, first of all, to make sure I'm thinking of the right thing, because I'm not super into phones. It's the one that folds out, but then also has the small screen when it's folded in.
I
correct?
believe so. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
so there's a better design, 100%. I believe it's Huawei that
Yeah,
has
that
one
folds
that
in.
is the opposite direction,
Yeah.
and I think that's
We talked
way
about this last
talked
time,
about
actually.
that
yeah.
too.
way more intuitive design. I don't know why you'd buy the Galaxy Fold at all when there's that. That's a better
Anthony, I
design.
have another question.
Okay.
Are you sponsored by Huawei?
I mean, no, but that would be amazing.
Slide into the DMs.
Yeah,
I-
yo,
I-
Huawei, we shouted you out on the podcast that gets 40 views, so like you guys gotta sponsor
Well,
us.
my question with this too is that like, do you really think now with the fixes, is this enough to save their project?
I feel like there've been so much shit talking about them that they like screwed up the first time.
Right, that's what I mean. So they fix the phone, they re-release it. Do you think it's
You
gonna...
know what my biggest thing is that how is a multi-billion-dollar company not have a test group of 100 people that are not going to tell everyone, that will just use a phone for a month?
Yeah, why
And-
wasn't this done already?
Yeah.
Why has it happened?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, why, and then like cut it back and then re-release it. People are gonna be
Yeah.
like, oh, what else can we find to break?
Because I'm sure you could get a focus group large enough to be like, yo, I'm going to peel this thing off.
Yeah,
You know what
no,
I mean?
literally.
But the thing with that too is like they would have like a bias essentially, because then they would be either paid or volunteer to be here, and then they may not want to be as honest as a true consumer.
Which is why you just get one from like a bunch of different countries.
Yeah.
One person from a bunch of different countries
And
that
which
are like,
essentially they did. That's why they sent out those test versions to those people, and those people broke their phones
but
because
publicly,
publicly,
which is kind of like.
which is his own.
All right, so what else do we got on tech news?
The next one is like still Samsung. So they like maybe
Man, we've
getting...
literally talked so much about Samsung. I feel like
I don't know why they're always in the news with this stuff. So with
Maybe that's the
Samsung,
point.
they're getting out of hot water with the Fold, but their latest issue actually involves water of any temperature. So in Australia, the Competition Consumer Commission is looking at suing Samsung because of false advertising. So apparently in a bunch of advertising that they used in Australia, it's misleading the consumers to believe that they have waterproofed their phone, or at least water-resistant phones, when they actually aren't.
Which phones is this?
With some of the Galaxies, I'm not exactly sure which one. Apparently the S10 is water-resistant, but with some of the advertising, it literally, like, there's an image in the article of a person talking on the phone. It's literally just water being thrown at the phone.
At the guy's
on
face.
Person's face, right? Which I arguably could be misleading, right? Like it's showing the phone as if it can be splashed and covered in water.
You know
And
what? This is kind of I have a story on this. So like I had an iPhone 7, and iPhone 7 I'm pretty sure was the first iPhone to be advertised as water
I
resistant.
believe so, yeah.
It was the iPhone 7 because the 6 was not advertised as water resistant, even though it was slightly water, like rain and crying on the
Right.
phone won't
Yeah.
hurt it, but yeah, not like I know from personal experience. But either way, so anyway, so then I was in Kiev with my cousin, who's very wealthy and very tech advanced and always has the latest crap. So he just got when the iPhone 7 came out, I'm pretty sure the Galaxy S7 came out at the same time. I'm pretty sure it was about the same time, if I'm not mistaken. And Galaxy S7 was advertised as the first waterproof phone.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him, and I'm like, hey, that blah, 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 whatever. I have the iPhone, like we're talking phones or whatever. And he's like, what do you have? And I'm like, I have the iPhone 7. It's like water resistant. He's like, well, mine is waterproof. And I'm like, whatever. It's pretty much the same thing. He's like, no, it's not the same. I'm like, well, it's pretty much relatively. Like, not like you're going to talk on the phone under the water. You know what I mean? Like, so he's like, well, no, I'll just prove it to you. So then we stood up as he was like on the computer working. And we literally went to the kitchen. He grabbed the bowl, put it in the sink, put the phone in the bowl, and turned the tap on, and was like, look. And then he literally took the phone out, and he's like, what song do you want me to play? And I was like, you asshole. Like, I can't do this with the phone, but like point proven. So that's why it's kind of surprising that the iPhone or the Galaxy S7 was so good to be completely waterproof.
Yeah.
But now 3 generations forward, or however many it is.
Yeah, and they're like specifically being mad about it being a specific type of water resistant. I don't know what it means. IP68 water resistant. Apparently, it's supposed to be good up to like 3 meters for 30 minutes submerged underwater or something.
How do they? What happens after 30 minutes? It's just like the barrier breaks.
I
or
guess
what?
something has to do with the ceiling. It doesn't work. But apparently, it's not. So yeah, they're looking to sue them. The ACCC claims that these things are misleading, and then even Samsung said that like the phones aren't recommended for beach use or something, which was
For
like,
beach use?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but is waterproof like a big selling thing for you guys? Like, is that something that you'd look for in tech?
First of all, I don't stay current with phones because they got, at least for me, they've gotten all too expensive.
Yeah.
Every phone I've ever has had a Lifeproof case, so
Okay.
I always just slap one on. Completely water resistant. I've dropped it 2 stories, no problem. Best case ever.
Which one's that? Is that?
Lifeproof. This
Lifeproof.
Lifeproof
Oh.
free case.
Sorry, I thought that was like a term, like life-proof case.
Oh no,
like,
that is the case.
that-
Lifeproof. They're relatively expensive, I guess. They go for about $80, I believe.
But if it saves your $600 phone or whatever.
Yeah, not only is it waterproof,
Like
I've
drop
literally,
resistant.
it's been like thrown at a wall and it's still been okay.
Yeah.
So
Is that the guys that are like constant advertising on social media and like doing those ads, throwing it off like the top of the building or whatever?
I don't know. Does
I think that's something different.
might be
You
something.
see those
seen- I
cases
have
like where they
seen
like
those ones
throw
too.
them up like into the air and purposely and show how good they are?
But no, I have an iPhone 6s, and I really don't want anything newer unless I switch over to Android because I don't like any iPhone. I don't like any iPhone with the 6s. I don't like that you don't have a real button. I don't like that you don't have a headphone jack. I don't like. I would never get the X.
The worst.
I would never get the X series iPhone because I don't like the Face ID. Because I do a lot of like snowboarding and stuff like that in the winter, and I really don't want to have to uncover my face or type in the password just to unlock my phone. I'd rather just quickly take off my glove and just use my thumbprint. It's faster. 100%.
So what
That's
you're
a good,
saying
that's
is
a good take.
if you basically want to have a safe with lots of valuables in it, make sure it's not fingerprint activated, it's Face ID activated because it's hard to break into.
It is more annoying to break into.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But also, for me, I could never buy a new phone on contract.
Why?
Because then I would be forced to get a new plan. And my plan is absolutely amazing.
What's your plan? Tell us, brag to us about your plan.
It's a really old student plan that
Nice.
is only $55 a month for unlimited Canada-wide data.
And who's this with?
It was originally MTS, but now I guess Bell or whatever
Bell,
they
yeah.
are. And so if I get a new phone on contract, I have to get a new plan. They would force me. So now I broke my old 6S, but I just bought one off Kijiji for like $500, and it was pretty much new. So if I get a new phone, I'll always just buy it outright and switch SIM cards because $55 a month for unlimited
that's-
Canada-wide data.
Yeah,
I think
damn,
now
that's pretty good.
now they offer you could get 15 gigs of data for I believe it's like almost $90 a month. But if you for every gig you go over that, it's $70 for every gig. And I only pay $55 a month.
I don't understand the pricing on that. Like they are absolutely robbing you.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it doesn't cost them anything.
That's what most massive corporations are.
Even if I move to a different province, I'll still keep this plan because all I use is the data.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
really call or text people that often, so it's mostly just unlimited.
Or
data. I use
iMessage
it.
or whatever
Yeah.
through data.
Holy smokes, that's crazy. Actually, damn.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
See, I got lucky with my plan because I just worked the system many times over. Like I would work the system and I would get like a worked system result, and I would work the worked system result. That's a tongue twister. But anyways, like I would just constantly work the system. So
Okay.
like I have 40 gigs of data and unlimited everything else. But see, the thing is that you have unlimited data, but then it cuts off at 15
After
and slows
15
down.
gigs, it slows down to 3.
Versus I have 40 full and like everything else unlimited, and I pay
How much is that a month?
with a new phone. It's $86 a month,
Okay, that's
which is
fair.
not even that bad.
But well, compared to 55,
Yeah, but-
I take 55, and I don't go over 15 gigs usually.
Yeah.
Listen,
So-
I save on a few
Unless
Subway
you're,
sandwiches
like,
a month,
uploading all of those photos, like
right there and then.
No, I mean, I go on Wi-Fi at home, and that's when I
Exactly.
do most of my posting.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
And I have great Wi-Fi, 600 megabits per second. So you know,
Oh, jeez, 600.
Shaw hooked us up. We were paying for 300 half price, and then they just upgraded us to 600 for the same price. So
Damn.
that's pretty nice.
Well, yeah, we got that
Damn.
too because Shaw did this promo where they doubled everyone's internet.
Here?
Yeah. So we had
I
75,
don't
now we
feel
have 150.
600.
What?
I don't feel 600.
No, we have 150 now or 300.
Oh, that would be gross going down to that. Well, see, what it is, my dad is a very loud, angry Italian, so he will yell at these people on the phone until he gets what he wants.
I want fast internet.
So he will just scream at these people on the phone until we get discounts in internet
Oh, man.
speeds, and yeah, now we're at 600 for I think not even
Damn.
the price of 300.
Listen,
Damn.
I know the plan of how
Can
to
you-
get you a nicer DSLR. Just take your dad with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Honestly, yeah.
Speaking, I do need a new camera soon. Not because I want to really upgrade, more so I need a second camera. Because I guess I technically lied about the sunsets shooting question. I do shoot lots of sunsets, but now that I think of it, one thing that I've been doing a lot is time-lapse photography. That's one thing I've been getting into.
Wait, before you say you're going to buy a new camera just for that, why don't you
No,
just get a trigger?
not just for that. I do have a trigger.
What?
But once my camera's time-lapsing, I can't shoot anything else So I'm kind of just sitting there. I have an intervalometer for my camera that I
that's
picked
good.
up, but I want another camera so I can keep taking other pictures while it's time lapsing.
Jeez, you're just trying to double down, hey?
Yeah, well,
Can you get another Canon?
I think I'd probably pick up like a Canon M6 or something cheap. Just
My man. There you
or
go.
not an M6, M5.
Doesn't matter.
Same
Not an
thing,
icon is all I care about.
I have all Canon lenses and I'm broke,
Exactly.
so I'm not gonna go through a whole new system. So
See what I mean? Nikon are selfish. They're not broke. They're not for broke people. So. No, I'm just kidding.
Speaking of time lapsing,
Everything's relative.
Kind of. What did you guys do anything with the fireworks? Shoot fireworks for Canada Day that just passed?
No.
No.
No,
None of you guys did
Jordan
anything?
had fireworks in his brain when he was at the end of the day.
I like leaving my camera at home sometimes.
Yeah,
I used to be the kind of guy that brought my camera absolutely everywhere all the time.
Number one rule: always have a camera on you.
But
Yeah,
then
and-
when you do it for a living, it's different. It becomes different. You become like hating it. Not hating it.
Not hate. Yeah, it's not hating it. Like
It's
I
just-
still enjoy it so much, but it's one of those things where even when I was traveling, God, I don't know how long this episode is going to be. That's fine. We can have a longer one. But even when I was traveling, when I went the first couple times to Europe, I found myself so obsessed with always shooting all the time. I would come home with thousands upon thousands of photos every day that I was out. And
Oh, wow.
I started to realize, like, I'm not there. I'm living it.
You're living in
this.
your camera.
Yeah, and I wasn't able to like differentiate me enjoying something in the moment and then being excited about the photos on the computer. So like being able to like separate myself from my camera and put it on the shelf sometimes and then go enjoy my life is actually a really nice
It's
feeling.
relieving, yeah.
But yeah, no, it was really,
I'm
that was
the
a
same
hard
way.
lesson for me to learn because I liked it so much. And I was like, no, but I want it there. I need to be shooting these shots. I want to be capturing this. But then there was a lot of times where I was like,
Even
honestly, like I want to just enjoy it. The
Yeah.
sunrise, right? Like,
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Even for me, like I went to Mexico and my parents were like, "Oh, you have a GoPro, you should grab it with you." I'm like, I actually want to leave it behind on purpose because I'm
Yeah.
so like I'm always like filming vlogs
yeah,
and
let's
stuff.
just
You just kind of want
detach
to
it a
take in
little
the
bit,
moment,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Kinda
That was
enjoy-
sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
That was one thing I really tried to focus on when I was in Vancouver because I wanted to hang out with my dad,
Mm-hmm.
but also I didn't want to come home with 30,000 pictures to go
Yeah.
through. I think all in all, like 2.5 days, almost 3 that I was there, I only took 350 pictures.
Wow.
I really tried to limit myself because I also on YouTube I watch a lot of landscape photographers that like Thomas Heaton among other
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I really like their videos, and one thing that they do, they only take like on a trip maybe not even 20 pictures. Like they go to Iceland or something and they take 20 pictures, and their motto is like if you come out with like 5 pictures in a year that you really like, they're happy. Obviously that's a different level. They're making thousands of dollars selling
Yeah,
prints and
yeah.
everything. But it kind of hit home for me that they don't take out the camera to snap a shot if it's not something they think is going to be fantastic. And that's something I'm trying to push to more and more, just to kind of only shoot quality, not quantity.
I see. All right, we do have to bring this to an end, but before we do, Jordan, you want to quickly run through the Patreon thing?
Sure, yeah. So usually we'd have a sponsor break somewhere in the middle, but this one ran a little longer in the meat of things. We don't have any sponsors at the moment, but if you have a business, product, or service that you want advertised on the air, we'd love to work with you. So send us a DM or an email at info
Info at proluxmedia.ca.
info at proluxmedia.ca. But if you don't have a business, product, or service, but you just like the show, we also have a Patreon account where you can just subscribe to help support the show. It helps us out. We can keep making the show, keep having guests on, and continue to make this. We do have our first patron, which is really cool. He didn't send me a new question, though, unfortunately.
It didn't, but that's okay.
That's
Next
fine.
one.
But
Next
yeah,
one.
our patrons get different added
We'll just
little
shout him up.
benefits.
How about we just shout him up?
Yeah, so you can find our
Zach
first
Flett.
Zach Flett is our first patron. He's our first guest, our first patron. So you can find him at Zach Flett. We can put his info in the little description as a little shout out. But yeah, so our patrons get different little bonuses, like exclusive sections, like you get to send us questions, or you can come by for a high five, or
Be on the podcast.
be on the podcast. Yeah. So just look us up. It's on patreon.com/the Prolix Podcast, or no, just Prolix Podcast.
Yeah, just Prolux podcast.
You'll find it. There's a link in the description.
Yeah, just type in Prolux. We're the only ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, and before we let you go, Anthony, where's the best place people can find you?
Like if you're looking for my photos, you want to know what I'm up to, I post stories, pictures, Instagram, 100%, and that would be at Anthony_URSO, Anthony_Urso.
Nice, and that's also for all you video viewers. That's on that thing. That's actually a gift from one of our
Nice.
visitors. Yeah, so that was really cool. It's like it was from Sergey. What's his last name? Shirk.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, he brought us a gift, which
is
was so random.
Yeah, it was really cool, and now we use it in all our podcasts.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks Sergey for that. And before we let the audience go, please do not forget to follow us on Instagram at Prolix Media, as well as check us out on YouTube, Prolix Media as well. And that's all we have time for today. Sorry that it was a little longer of an episode and we had a screw up in the beginning, but hopefully the meat of the sandwich of the podcast, as I refer to it, was worth it. Yeah, see you guys next time. Cheers.